mind to change the subject for just about 60 seconds.
Welcome to the Rat Hole. We are live. Hello, everybody. Not sure how I feel about today's stream. As a game I've been putting off all this Super Nintendo that I've been playing. I've had this game set up on my table, sitting, waiting. It was given to me. It was not a sponsored thing. It was not a publisher giving it to me. It was a used game that was given to me. But I'm like, all right, well, let's. It's solo playable. Let's play it. And I just haven't been able to get my head into it. So we're gonna try it. It's a choose your own adventure game. For those who are of a certain age, really it's two certain ages because there's like a hole in the middle. Choose Your Adventures is a series of books. You read, they're a game book. You read, it says make this choice or this choice. You go to a different page. And back and forth throughout the book, flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop. Sometimes you die, sometimes you don't. And that was the original books. And those became a model for games. I've played some that are similar but legally distinct from Choose Your Own Adventure, Choose Cthulhu specifically. I did a few of those way back when. This is an actual licensed Choose Your Own Adventure brand game. Hey, Timescales. Yes, I'm early. It's less than I'm early so much as I've been a lot of time I've been late. I'd prefer to doing it around this time. Because then you're around. I've been having a weird week. I got a lot of writing done yesterday, which was good, but I've had most of my days I've just been kind of bleh. So I'm like, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try and get this game played. So we're gonna do this. House of Danger is what this is called, and we're gonna adjust my microphone, adjust my stool. In a way, the Infocom games like Zork were Choose Your Own Adventure. Similar, but not really. Those old text-based games were text-based games, but it wasn't exactly the same. There's a lot more reading, a lot less choice, and you'll see that as we do this. If you go back in time and look, one of my Christmases, I did a version of Parsley. Parse is in parsing understanding as opposed to parsing parsley, the herb. And it's a much closer version of those text-based games. But this definitely does have more than one ending or outcome. Actually, I don't know if this game does, but the book certainly did. So we're gonna Drink some coffee. Read the first card. I know that this is continued, so I'm going to just pull it out now. All right. The grounds. So these are what the cards look like. Walls of text. It's a Tuesday morning in late June, and you wake up in a cold sweat. The nightmares came again last night. Even though you are an aspiring detective and psychic investigator, you haven't been able to make sense of the haunting dreams you've had these past few weeks. In your dreams, you keep seeing the same spooky house. You're still shivering under the covers when you hear the phone rings downstairs in your basement, where you have your combination office and research laboratory. You dash down to the lab to answer it. I need, a weak voice says when you pick up the receiver. I need your help. You hear a loud click when the phone goes dead. That's an interesting thing that they've gone with this method. Yet this is clearly takes place in the 80s, early 90s, probably when there was an actual book. I don't know if there was an actual book based on this or not, but this is certainly you don't get a click on a cell phone. These are landline calls that I don't know if the kids today would understand. But you were prepared. While the caller was talking, you activated your high-speed telephone tracing device. It instantly displays the caller's number 555-7259. Also, it's only a 7-digit number. You call back the number right away, but there's no answer. After consulting the tall stack of reverse phone books, itchy. Behind your desk, you were disappointed to learn the number is unlisted. You sense that the phone call is somehow related to your nightmares. Later, while the Hedgebrook police station to return a nightscope you borrowed. Later, while at the Hedgebrook police station to return a nightscope you borrowed for a recent stakeout, you describe the mysterious phone call and continues on story card 1. And your recurring dreams to your friend Sergeant Morrison. That call does sound strange, she says. We'll look into it. And about that house in your dreams, a voice says from the hallway. I was wondering if you were dreaming about the Marsden house on Hedgebrook Road. Detective Murphy sticks his mustached face into the room. Modern house, ornate gate. That sounds like the Marsden place, all right, says Sergeant Morrison. Strange things are reported to have happened out there. I'll have to read that later. Lost my place. Strange things are reported to have happened there. Detective Murphy takes a puff on his pipe. That place is haunted, he says. I know it sounds unprofessional, but I've had a file on the Marsden house for years. I'm sure of it. He waves the folder in front of your eyes, and a phone number written on the front jumps out at you. It matches the one from your mysterious phone call. So the call is related to your nightmares. Your psychic senses were right. Draw clue 26 and to discover your goal. So here is clue 26. Again, I don't know what this would be if this was new. I don't know if it would be in proper order or not, but they're in somewhat of probably having previously been played order. The grounds. Chapter 1, goal. Get inside the Marsden house. So that goes right there. Back at home, you grab a bottle of water and your tiny pocket knife, which I have right here. I'm preparing for a new investigation. Half an hour later, you stand before the Marsden residence, which appears exactly as it did in your nightmares. The house's futuristic look is a strange contrast to the antiquated appearance of the stone wall and the wrought iron gate, which is locked shut and wrapped in steel chains. Even though the air is balmy, a chill travels down your spine. The gathering clouds on the horizon hint at a brewing summer thunderstorm. If you search the wall for a way in, go to story card 13. If you climb the gate, go to story card 7. Let's search the wall, shall we? So we come over here. We look for story card 13. Story card 13. You can always keep that book cover on top so you don't accidentally read stuff. I'm going to quickly check that message that just came through. It looked at semi-important. Sorry. Let me just check this. All right. Coffee. Moving along the chapter 1, story card 13. Let's got ratcheted a bit. Moving along the mossy stone wall that surrounds the property, you come across a jagged opening created by the fallen rocks. It's just big enough for you to squeeze through. Once on the other side of the wall, you find yourself standing in a cobblestone plaza surrounded by marble and bronze figures. Most of the sculptures depict men gazing off into the distance as if pondering the deeper meaning of it all. But at the edge of the courtyard is a monumental statue of a man atop a muscular steed. To your right, a stony pathway leads away from the statuary and into a picturesque garden, where the topiary bushes have been trimmed into whimsical shapes. Continued on the back. So the picture of the statue. If you inspect the statue, go to story card 4. If you walk towards the bushes, go to story card 15. Sure, let's look at the statue. There's a picture of the statue, so it must be important. Story card 4. The horseman is a dashing, bearded Civil War soldier, his brawn face stoic. He holds out a cavalry saber towards the brooding sky. The sword's edge glints in the weak sunlight that penetrates the thickening clouds above. The sword almost looks new. At the base of the statue is a plaque that proclaims this as a memorial to Henry Marsden. The plaque reads, Henry Marsden, born 1839, died 1887. General in the Union Army during the Civil War, severely wounded at the Battle of Shiloh in 1862, appointed warden of the Hedgebrook prison in 1880. To your left is the entrance to a hedge maze. To your right, a graying picket fence with a rickety wooden gate. You can see 2 stone angel statues and beyond them a cemetery. Optional challenge, search the monument's base. If you win, draw clue 18. Optional challenge, climb the statue to examine the saber. If you win, draw clue 2. Lose, raise danger meter by 2. You may try again. You know what? Let's try the base. So to do a challenge, coffee isn't in the supply cards. It's not. But it is important. It's getting cold too. So to do a check, I rolled a die. I have to get higher than what the danger meter sits at, so I can roll anything but a 1 or 2. 6, I succeed. So I draw clue 18. Clue 18. When you inadvertently press a hidden switch, the statue slides to one side, revealing a cement passage. Place the new story choice below the bottom of story card 4. This option may be considered when you are ready to make your story choice. So I just go like that. Add it to the thing. If you enter the hedge maze, go to story card 12. If you visit the cemetery, go to 21. Or, that's weird, it's upside down. Or if you want to see where the hidden passage leads, go to story card 28. I don't like that that's upside down. It makes it a little bit harder to read. We are going to go to story card 28. And go down the hidden thing. What did I say it was? 28? 28. You creep through the darkness and find the cement walls end as a natural stone in the earth begins. Occasional vents to the surface let in just barely enough light to see by. Ahead you glimpse the warm firelight of torches. You come to a fork in the tunnel, lit by dancing flames. One tunnel descends deeper and is half filled with water. You could swim through it, but you can't see where the tunnel leads or how far it goes. Another tunnel looks partially caved in. Tiny clumps of earth periodically fall from the ceiling as you approach this tunnel. Several of the supports hold up the wall have gaping cracks in them. There's a picture. If you dive into the water-filled tunnel, go to story card 22. If you explore the partially collapsed tunnel, go to story card 16. I think we'll go to 16. I don't like that. I don't like water. I'm going to put myself on mute and blow my nose. One moment. There we go. Without warning, the earthen walls begin to collapse around you. And before you can react, you are up to your waist in dirt. You writhe and twist, trying to escape, but it only causes more soil to cascade down. Soon it's up to your shoulders, then your neck, then your cheeks. You struggle to spit the soil out as it fills your mouth, but within moments you are fully buried. You can see only the dark earth in front of your eyes. Your hand closes around a metal disc, perhaps a coin. You'll never know. As the soil fills your lungs, the world wavers and goes gray before you finally turning back. The end. Move back one space on the psychic scale and return to the previous card. So I moved that down from 3 to 2. And go back to the previous story. So dive into the water. Go to story card 22. You don't you don't like the water, which is why you have coffee. We've been over this. It's true. I don't like water, so I have coffee. $22. So you don't die when you get to the end of this. You just move backwards and change a few things. It is possible to die, but the point is to continue through. Mustering all the courage you can, you dive into the water tunnel. There's just enough room for in the tunnel above the water for you to lift your head between strokes and take a breath. Eventually, the tunnel drops lower and lower until it's completely submerged underwater. You hold your breath, dive down, and look around. After about 30 feet, the tunnel opens up into a bigger body of water, a pond or a pool with sunlight beaming into it. You pop up for air. Well, I've come this far, you think. You're ready to chance it. You take a deep breath and dive back down. You get 10 feet in, 15 feet in, 25 feet in. Just as you're about to exit the underwater tunnel, something tugs on your leg. You can't tell if it's an animal or if you're caught in an underwater vine. Required channel. Fight to escape. Win, draw, kill you 20. Lose, raise the danger meter by 4, and try again. Just don't drown in a tunnel of coffee. I will make an attempt to not drown in a tunnel of coffee, although that would be nice. I would not object. If I'm going to die, dying in a tunnel by drowning in coffee is pretty decent. 2, I failed. 1, 2, 3, 4. I try again. I now have to roll a 4 or above. 1. Fail. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I need a 5 or above. I'm rolling like terrible. 4. I fail. I need to read what happens at that point. Danger meter. If the danger meter reaches the space at the top of the danger meter by exact count or more, you must stop, take a penalty. Move the psychic mover back 2 spaces on the psychic scale, then reset the danger mover to the third 3 space on the danger meter shown by the arrow. You'll begin your next story charge or challenge with the danger move on the 3rd space. Well, I can only go back to 1. Let's go back to 3. Let's see if I can actually do this. 5. Yay. Take clue 20. 2020. The thing, whatever it is, wraps more tightly around your leg. It's pulling you down. Another tendril or tentacle slides around your neck. You pry it off, and with the last of your strength, you give a powerful kick, and you're free. Just like that, the thing is gone. You emerge into a swimming pool with a lush pool house next to it. Lower the danger meter by 2 and go to story card 23. I've always wondered why people provide their own hold music when they're doing things. I don't know. Lack of silence. I didn't even notice I was doing it. It's obvious that nobody has cleaned the pool in ages. The water is murky green and the surface littered with leaves and branches. Ripples pulse outward from the center of the pool. Out of nowhere, you hear a commotion. You look around and wonder if it's coming from inside the pool house nearby. Then you see a movement at the top of the gazebo in the distance. Someone, or something, is engaged in a struggle up there. Maybe they need your help. Then again, if you offer assistance, you might end up needing help yourself. Optional challenge. Investigates the ripples in the pool. Win, lower the danger meter by 2 and draw clue 8. Lose, raise the danger meter by 2. You may try again. Well, my danger meter is already at the bottom. I should not do that. After the challenge, and it is an optional challenge. After the challenge, make story choice below. If you go to the pool house, go to story card 11. If you go straight to the action, go to story card 9. Exciting. Let's go to story card 9. 9. You sprint to the gazebo, practically pushed along by the winds that are picking up. A light sprinkling of rain splatters the ground as you run. You make it to the shelter of the structure, and the mayhem occurring above you on the roof increases in intensity. Who's up there and what are they doing, you wonder? You notice a driveway about 20 feet away. Rain picture. If you were level 2 or higher on the psychic scale, draw clue 27. I'm not. If you climb to the top of the gazebo, go to story card 10. If you run to the driveway, story card 30. Well, I came all the way over here for the excitement, so might as well go for the excitement. Story card 10. You stand on the gazebo's railing, steadying yourself by gripping an ornate post holding you up the roof. The rumbling above sounds and feels frightening. What are you getting yourself into? Reluctant to barge in the middle of this situation, you raise yourself just enough for a peek and to discover there's no one on the gazebo roof. The commotion is actually a large satellite dish broken into 3 pieces. The big jagged fragments are still connected to the base by wires, and the violent winds are spinning them in a circle with great force. Flailing wildly like an angry octopus, the satellite dish almost hits you in the face. You might be able to grab a piece zooming by. Required challenge. Attempt to grab a piece of the satellite dish. Win, draw clue 20 2, lose, draw clue 17. 6, I win. I win. 22. You hold on onto the gazebo with one hand and time your lunge perfectly. You snag a chunk of the whirling satellite dish. The piece appears to be made by hand. An engraving on it reads, Planet of Crystals. Draw clue 7. The picture. Your psychic sense tells you this is an important item. You look to your left and see a path to a driveway that might be the front of the house. You jump off the gazebo and run to check it out. Keep this item, move forward 1 space on the psychic scale. Go to story card 13. 30, not 13. Did I say 13? We're just going to go and deal with that spammer on Twitch. You are a wiener. I am a wiener. Wiener. Twitch. Let me just report this spam bot. Spam bot. There we go. Spam bot killed. Card 30. Chapter 1, goal achieved. You appear in the driveway, which leads you to the mansion's entrance. On the door is a plaque that reads Marsden and a large crystal door knocker, which seems newer than everything else on the front of the building. You knock loudly, many times, but there's no answer. The storm is really picking up now. You try the doorknob and are surprised to find the door is unlocked. You've been lucky enough so far, but you wonder if you've missed something. Before you enter the house, you look back, and you can see a few clear paths. One leads towards a statuary, another to a small cemetery. 2 more paths stretch out towards a watery ditch with a gate and the house's luxurious pool. You could go back and explore if you want. Story return. There are items in this chapter that will be useful later in the story. You can take the risk and go back for anything you missed by following the choices below. If you head to the statuary, raise the danger meter by 2 and go to story card 4. This had much more depth in story than the Infocom text games. Yes, very much so. If you head to the cemetery, raise the danger meter by 2 and go to story card 21. If you head to the ditch, raise the danger meter by 2 and go to story card 26. If you head to the pool, raise the danger meter by 2 and go to story card 23. Well, we've been to the pool, and we've been to the statue. No matter what, you raise the danger meter by 2. Let's go to the cemetery. Danger meter goes up 2, and I go to story card 21. Passing between a pair of stone angels, you enter an old family cemetery. There's a marble mausoleum in the center of the cemetery. A short set of stairs leads into its shadowy interior. Next to where you stand, a freshly dug grave yawns in the pale sunlight. It's unsettling to think of climbing into it, but you see something shiny embedded in the dirt walls. There's a picture. If you went to the mausoleum, go to story card 5. If you climb into the open grave, go to story card 16. Why does that seem like a terrible plan? I feel like it's going to dump me back underneath into that previously dead thing if I go into the open grave. I don't like that plan. I'm going to do it anyway, but I don't like that plan. 16. Where's card 16? I might not go to 16. There's 16. Yeah, that's all right. I was right. It does kill you. So I'm just gonna not go there. I'm gonna do the cheap way. 16 was the one where everything collapsed on you. So I'm not gonna go to the open grave. I'm gonna go to the mausoleum. Story card 5. The mausoleum interior feels musty and cool. Something is dripping from the ceiling and landing in a corner with a plink, which is odd given that it hasn't started raining yet. It was raining in the previous card. That makes no sense. You notice the mausoleum is bigger on the inside than on the outside suggested. It's a TARDIS! A stone sarcophagus lies before you in the center of the chamber with the word Marsden carved into it. It appears the others have been in the mausoleum recently. There's a freshly dug pit into the side of the sarcophagus, and an elaborate tunnel has been dug into the ground beside the nearby wall. You can see that the tunnel is lined with cement. Optional challenge, search the sarcophagus. Optional challenge, remove the stone lid of the sarcophagus. I'm going to search. I have to get a 3 or better. 4. Clue 23. Clue 23. Long wooden dowel. You find a large wooden dowel. Your psychic senses tell you this is an important item. To keep this item, move forward 1 space on the psychic scale. Finish story card 5. Yeah, I'm back to where I started on the psychic scale. All right. Remove the stone lid. 3. I just barely make it. Clue 16. Bonus story choice. It takes some muscle, but you manage to remove the old lid and are surprised to find not only is there no body, but an opening to a secret passageway offers yet another way out of the mausoleum. If you climb into the pit, go to story card 16. If you travel through the tunnel, go to story card 28. You take the secret passageway, go to draw a clue 24. I will draw clue 24. You travel through the tunnel for what feels like forever. The light disappears and the tunnel eventually leads. The light disappears and the tunnel eventually ends. You feel frightened and trapped. You want to run back and try the other routes out of the mausoleum. Before you go, you feel around in the dark. There's nothing in front of you or to the sides. But you discover a mossy hatch in the tunnel ceiling. You turn the handle and the hatch opens onto a grassy patch at the entrance to a hedge maze. Go to story card 12. The hedge maze is massive. Its thick hedge walls are twice as tall as you, but don't seem stable enough to climb. So you'll have to solve this labyrinth the old-fashioned way. Thick edge wall. Sorry. Don't seem stable enough to climb, so you'll have to solve this labyrinth the old-fashioned way. You take a deep breath to steady your nerves and head through the maze's entrance. Continue on the back. There's a picture. All right. Sorry about that. If you go left, draw clue 9. If you go right, draw clue 1. We'll go to clue 1. You turn and follow a path for several minutes. Wait, this looks familiar. Raise the danger meter by 1 and draw clue 11. You keep going and going. It seems like you just walked in a circle. Raise the danger meter by 2 and draw clue 12. You feel like you might be getting close to the end of the maze. If you go left, draw clue 13. If you go right, clue 14. We will go whichever one we find first. How about that? 14. You'd think you'd be better at this by now. Raise the danger meter by 2 and draw clue 13. That was just cheeky. Finally, you see it. The end of the maze. Go to story card 18. You finally come to the end of this hedge maze. It exits towards a pool house. A short stone pedestal stands in front of you with a metal lockbox on top. Perhaps someone wants to reward you for navigating that accursed maze through the whole thing. The whole thing does seem suspicious. Looking towards the pool house, you see its door barely hanging from its hinges. There's also a gate that leads, you assume, directly to the pool. Image. Optional free action. To see if the lockbox is open, draw clue 3. Clue 3. A truck key. Not only is the lockbox open, but inside you find a key to a truck. Your psychic senses tell you that this is an important item. Keep this item. Move forward 2 spaces on the psychic scale. Finish story card 18. You explore the pool house. Go to story card 11. If you walk through the gate, check out the pool. Story card 23. I was already at the pool. So I'm going to go check out the pool house. Story card 11. You can tell the pool house was once quite luxurious. It contains half a dozen private rooms with showers, as well as an ornate mahogany bar in the common area. It must have been fun to hang out in this place in its glory days. Those thoughts fade as sounds of a disturbance erupt from the top of the gazebo in the distance. Now you can hear a lone violin playing a soothing melody. If you investigate the gazebo, go to story card 9. If you follow the sound of the violin, 17. We're going to follow this. We've been at the gazebo, I think. So we're going to go 17. You move further and further towards the hypnotic sound of the distant violin, which is oddly calming and uplifting, even as the winds increase around you. You notice there's a driveway up in the distance, but before you get there, you arrive at a horse stable with an open gate. Inside, sitting on a stool, is the source of the violin music. A chimpanzee playing its heart out, a soulful expression on its face. The chimp is fully committed to the music. You've never heard such an emotional performance. It's beautiful. There's a chimpanzee playing a violin. If you leave the stable and run to the driveway, go to story card 30. If you tip through the gate to experience the full power of the performance, go to story card 24. That is too weird not to check out. You tiptoe through the open gate, eager to hear the finale of the chimp's violin piece. Quietly. With your third step, you trigger a motion sensor light that completely illuminates the interior of the building. Apparently, this is no stable. It's a kennel. 20 Doberman pinchers were peacefully enjoying the concert. Now they glare at you with anger in their eyes. The chimp frowns and slowly points his violin bow towards you. The Dobermans respond and rush to attack you and then eat you alive. The last thing you see is the chimpanzee violinist laughing at your fate. So embarrassing. The end. Move back one space on the psychic scale. Return to story card 17. All right, then. I guess I will do that and go back to the stable. Story card 30. I had eaten my Dobermans and because of a laughing chimp. Story card 30. I don't see story card 30. It must be in here. Story card 30. Chapter 1, goal achieved. I think I'm just going to call it. That was 45 minutes. That's not bad for a first thing. Or do I want to go back and do one more round? There's still a fair bit of story that I could go through. I haven't looked in the ditch. I want to raise the danger meter by 2. But whatever. I don't know that I'm going to come back to this game, so I might as well keep playing. Story card 26. You land in the ditch, splashing into shallow, frigid water. At this point, you notice a large grate ahead of you, which partially blocks the entrance to a dark cement culvert that water flows into. If you bent over, you could walk under the lower rim of the grate and enter the culvert. You then see a small piece of paper drifting by you in the water. You might be able to grab it if you act fast. Optional challenge. Grab the paper. Win. Draw clue 19. Lose. Raise the danger meter by 1. Well, gee. I have to roll a 6 or better. Might as well get this done right now. 4. I fail. So I have to lower the... I go back to 3 on that. Lower myself down to psychic scale 2, which takes me to 2. It doesn't say I can take it again. So I guess I don't. Along the side of the ditch is a dusty path towards what appears to be an elaborate hedge maze. If you enter the culvert, go to 28. If you go to the hedge maze, which I've already done, story card 12. Story called 28. Already done 28. Let's find it. You creep through the darkness and find the cement walls end as a natural stone and earth begins. Occasional vents to the surface let in just barely enough light to see ahead, Ahead, you glimpse the warm firelight of torches. You come to a fork in the tunnel, lit by dancing flames. One tunnel descends deeper and is half filled with water. You could swim through it, but you can't see where the tunnel leads or how far back it goes. I'm just going to skip ahead here. This is, I've basically just looped back around, and I don't really feel like going back through that story again. So we are going to call that. That is chapter 1 of House of Danger. That wasn't bad. I don't necessarily want to set up for chapter 2 right now, so I'm not going to keep it. Let's check out Twitch, see what's what. If there is someone I can raid out to here. Raid Jamie Daggers. Let's go ahead and raid Jamie Daggers on Twitch. So if you haven't, if you're joining me on Twitch, the channel is twitch.tv/theratholedotca. That is the same as the YouTube channel. We're going to start that raid and say goodbye. You can also find me on YouTube, youtube.com/therathold.ca. That's the ratholedotca. YouTube, because YouTube does not like URLs in their URLs any more than Twitch does. You can also find me on Horses on Film. Horses on Film, youtube.com/@horsesonfilm, where we talk the 100 best Westerns of all time every other Monday. Next Monday, I forget what we're doing next Monday, but this coming Monday is the next episode. Happiness Patrol, youtube.com/@Happiness Patrol show, first Thursday of every month. Coming up in a couple of weeks, we've got Labyrinth. Talking movies that make us happy, getting rid of all the toxic fandom, talking about Labyrinth. That's going to be a great episode. And of course, you can find me most Tuesdays on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, talking Doctor Who, youtube.com/The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We're going to go through and end this. Thank you very much. And until next time, good gaming and